Hey guys, so I'm very excited to give to you the new ComfyUI Flux Dev install. So Flux is the new image generation diffusion model. It's come out by a company called Black Labs, and very cool, very good stuff. They're comparing this to all the Stable Diffusion models that came out, and it's really impressive. You can see over here we've got some images I just popped out within a few minutes. This is really incredible stuff here. So I'll just take moments to make really incredible image stuff, and the what do you call it? The interface that we're using is pretty exciting as well too, as it works so good. So I don't know how many of you know the ComfyUI interface, but it actually makes things, it's a little bit complicated if you don't know what you're doing, but this install that we've got going here that we're going to get going with you is actually pretty easy. So we're going to pop right into that here, but first go ahead, please like the channel and share the video, because it really helps, and we're trying to get this out to the community to help people get going with all this stuff. So by you doing that, you are helping your fellow man. So thank you very much for that. All right, well, let's go ahead and we're going to pop back over to the internet here. Let's go over to here. This is what we're going to be looking for. And what we're going to do is do a Google search for Comfy Anonymous. Okay, we're going to type Comfy Anonymous, and then we're going to type ComfyUI. Let me show you really quick what I'm talking about with ComfyUI. Let's go over here to images.google, and we're going to type ComfyUI. And you're going to get a picture. This is pretty much what we're talking about here. This is an interface that loads up into your browser, and then you run these workflows. So essentially how it works is you've got these are like wires. They're running from one thing to the next, and so you set up this workflow of saying, like, okay, with this image I'm going to do this one thing, then we're going to do this other thing, and it's going to flow from here to there, and you can get some really complicated stuff, and then it outputs. Now the cool thing about this is that people that are really good with this, they upload their workflows, and then you can actually just God, what am I doing here? You can actually just upload them into your thing, and then look at this. This is a very complicated one. Someone, if they give this to you, you could throw that in there and actually do the same stuff. And so this is going to make it really easy for us working with the model that we're going to do. But first, what we have to do is we have to install it. So all that said, let's pop back over to here, and what we did is we typed in Comfy Anonymous and then ComfyUI. Okay, so what we're going to do is click on here. It's going to bring us into this fellow's repository. So we're just going to scroll down. As always, just don't just randomly grab these repos. It's tempting because, like, when you're first starting, you don't know what you need. You're like, well, we'll just grab everything. Okay, you only want to grab that if you're told to grab it. So let's go ahead, scroll down. We're going to see installing ComfyUI. So let's do this. Now it has a direct link to download. We're not going to do that. We're going to build it just by hand. So here we go. Manual install on Windows and Linux. Now follow me with this, because there's some steps that he doesn't mention for us NVIDIA users, and we just want to make sure we're doing everything in the correct thing. So what we're going to do is, it says to git clone the repo. Okay, so to do that, let's just go up here, and actually we can just highlight this, okay, everything to the left of that question mark. Okay, we can also go up to here, and then we can click on code, HTTPS. We can get it this way as well. Okay, so we want to, first thing, let's get back down to our instructions. Oh my goodness, look at that, I clicked the wrong thing. We almost had it. Okay, there we go. So we're going to go ahead and git clone the repo. So let's go over to here to our terminal. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put it in a temp directory. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type mkdir temp. So what that means is make directory temp. Okay. Now I'm going to go cd temp. That means change directory. Now we're in this directory. If I type dir, which means directory, it's empty. Okay, so we are in there. So knowing that we have installed our git clone and all that, we're going to type git clone, and then we're going to press Control V, and what it's going to do is it's going to download that, and if you see, it will have created a folder called ComfyUI. Okay, so I'm losing track of my mouse here for a second. Got too much stuff going on here. All right, now let's pop back over to here. Now it says here, put your SD checkpoints. This is actually your model that you're going to be generating stuff off of. We're not going to do this quite yet. So whenever you're doing image generation, you have to have a model. That's like what Civitai is for. You can get these models, put them in there. Worry about that some other time. What we're going to do is skip this because we have particular models that we're going to use. So we're going to scroll down. We're going to get over this AMD thing, and then we're going to go down to our NVIDIA. Okay, notice what it doesn't do here. It does not mention creating your virtual environment. But you guys are good, and you know that you always want to create a virtual environment. So let's go ahead and press CLS to clear the screen. Okay, directory again. And what we're going to do is we're going to go CD, ComfyUI. So we're going inside the directory. Okay, now we're going to create our virtual environment. And we're going to do a Python one, not a Conda one this time. So we're going to go Python-M. That M means we're going to run something as a module, like as an app. And we're going to run the Vim program, the virtual environment. And we're going to create a virtual environment called virtual environment. So again, you could name this whatever. You could call it my environment, or you could call it Fred if you want. Okay, but you have to type it in. So the kind of standard is just put Vim. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and press this, and you'll see that when it's done, it's going to have created a directory here for you. If we type dir, you'll notice that it created a Vim directory. So now we need to activate it. So basically what we did is we've created a shield for our computer. Like if we were painting on a desk and we didn't want to get paint on the desk, we would put a cover over it. So we're doing the same thing, but it doesn't do any good unless we activate it. So we're going to type call, C-A-L-L, V-E-N-V, then we're going to hit this /scripts, and scripts is a subfolder, and then we're going to hit activate. Okay, and you're going to notice, so what it did is it went into the Vim directory, then it went into the subdirectory scripts, and then it called the program that's called activate. Now you'll notice we're in our virtual environments. Now we can do stuff, and if we mess up in here, it's not going to mess up our main system. So let's press CLS to clear the screen. Alright, so now let's go back to our here and see what it tells us to do. Okay, it wants us to install Torch, but here's the thing. You guys know that when we're using our NVIDIA stuff, we need to get our CUDA toolkit installed first. So let's type conda install -c. That -c means we're calling a particular catalog. The catalog's name is NVIDIA. What are we going to download out of that or install? We're going to install a CUDA toolkit, and we're going to go equals 11.8. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and put a -y, and that's just going to go ahead and make it so I don't have to say yes later. Okay, so we'll sit here and it goes burp, 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 burp. Okay, it always takes a little bit of while for Conda to do this. Okay, so it's going to install. Now mine's already been installed here. Yours will take just a minute. So that's installed. Now we can go back. We can grab our Torch, and you'll notice that it's downloading with the CUDA. Okay, this is actually 1.2.1, so we'll actually change that to the one that we have. We're going to put this in here, and what we'll do is we'll go 1.1.8. Now it's nice. Oh, whoops, we're not over here. So we paste it in there, and what I did was, okay, here, let's do this again. Paste it in there, and then I hit the back arrows here, and I put 1.1.8. Okay, now normally what we would do is we would go over here and we would go Torch install, and we click over to here, and we just get it from here. Okay, which we could do. But they gave it to us, so we just copy and paste it. Then I changed it to 118 because they had CUDA 12 they were going to install, and we're running 11.8. So let's go ahead and press enter. So that's going to go ahead and download that. Okay. So that, as you know, our torch typically takes a while to install, so we'll probably end up pausing here while it does this. But before we do that, let's go back over here and let's see what our next stuff is going to be. Okay, the next one is going to be just to install the requirements. So we can just go ahead and copy this, and we can go back to here, and let's just go ahead and pause this video so you don't have to wait. We'll be right back. Okay, and we're done. So what we're going to do is we're going to install the requirements next. So we'll just highlight that and press Control-C to copy it. Okay, but first thing we need to do is we need to make sure we're wherever the requirements are. So let's type dir. Oh, and there they are. So we don't need to go into any other directory. So we're going to just go ahead and paste this in. Pip install -r requirements. So it says we're going to install something, and what we're going to install, that -r says we're going to install something from a file. The name of the file is requirements.txt. So we'll hit that. It's going to do our matrixy stuff here. Okay. And I'm not sure how long that's going to take. So while that's doing it, let's go look back at our next instructions. And then look at this. It says, after this, you should have everything installed and could proceed to running the ComfyUI. Okay, so that's wonderful. So we're going to have it running. I guess we could probably load it up just to make sure it's running, but then we still have the next bit of work to do. So we're going to pop back over to here. We're done. Okay, well, let's see if it loads up. So let's type dir, and what are we looking for here? Main.py. So we're going to type Python, because Python tells us that we're going to run a Python program. We can tell it's a Python program because it ends in py. We'll go main.py. Okay, so this should load up our server. Okay, it's running all of our stuff. It's beep, beep, beep. Okay, here we go. So now it says to see the GUI, go to this place. So you just highlight this, copy it. Then if we go to our browser and press Control-V, okay, there we go. So it's actually loaded in. And you'll notice I can put my mouse over here and I can scroll down and it's going to scroll that out. I can scroll this in. I can grab this, move this around so that we can see things. So we'll talk more about this later. So let's go ahead and close this out though for now. And we're going to do the same thing here with the terminal. So let's just press Control-C. And Control-C then exits it. So here we are. Okay, so now what we have to do now is we need to go ahead and get the Flux dev stuff that we're going to install. And so we're going to go back to the browser and I'll show you how to do it. So we'll say this part 1 is done. Okay, it's like this is intermission. So go get some popcorn, go to the bathroom, wash your hands, blow some water on your face. Okay, do all that kind of stuff. And then now we're back. Let's move into the second part. So going over here, we can actually close this out. Okay, and this is what we're going to be looking for is these directions. So we're going to go back to our internet again and we're going to type Comfy Anonymous. Okay, and then we're going to type the word examples. And we're going to look for this one, examples of ComfyUI workflows by Comfy Anonymous. So we're going to click this, and we're just going to scroll through his stuff. You could spend time going through here and looking at it. So look, he's got all sorts of stuff here to teach you about ComfyUI. What we're going to do is we're going to scroll down here to where it says Flux. Okay, this is really cool what he's done for us here. He's given us straightforward instructions on what to do. Okay, so there's Black Forest Labs. Look at, there's a FP8 version we'll talk about, which means that if you can't, this is a pretty intensive model. So it if you don't have a great computer, it can take a long time, but the cool thing is there's methods to still get quality stuff, but with a little trade-off, you know, but it'll run on your machine, which is cool. So let's go down here, and it says files to download for the regular version. So that's what we're doing. We're going to install the regular version. It says if you don't have this file, okay, you can see it's a safe tensors. You don't have to worry about knowing what it is. Just know that it's a model that we need to load, or the clip one already in your model clip directory. So that's going to tell us where we're going to install these two files. We're going to install this file, T5XXL, and we're going to install clip 1 into our models clip directory. We already know that we're already in the ComfyUI directory, so it's going to go into here. And it says you can find them on this link. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on this link, and it's going to say open link in new tab. So let's go over here, and we can see that it has 3 different files. Now, you can choose, I'd say just download them all here, but you can see they're kind of large, 10 gigabytes, 5 gigabytes. This basically is a full, what's the word? My brain's going, like an unquantitative. Remember we talked about how like numbers are, you could have a number with so many decimals, and it's a very precise number. You could cut off some of those decimals, and it's still a precise number. It's just not as precise. That's what these things are doing. So if the 16 isn't running on your machine, you can use the 8. Okay, so we'll go ahead and let's just download the 16 for now. We're going to have to get both of these. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here to where it says LFS. I got this arrow. We're just going to click that. Okay, now I should change. I'm going to switch over here so you can see this a little bit better. Let's get rid of this stuff. Okay, and what we're going to do, we'll put this over here, is we need to find the right folder. So, whoops, so I was working on this earlier. So, okay, I'm going to hit temp. Okay, so there was where we installed ComfyUI. Then we go and click on models. Okay, and then it said it wants it in the clip folder. So we're going to click there, and what we're going to do is we're going to hit save. So we're grabbing the T5XL to 16. Okay, so we're going to save that, and that's going to start saving. You can see now we're going to click this one, clip 1. You have to have the clip 1, and you have to have one or the other of these. So now let's click 1. Same thing. We're here in the Comfy models clip folder. So we're just going to hit save. Okay. We'll let those download. See how those are downloading pretty fast. I'll go ahead and download this other one just so I can show that to you as well. Same thing in the clip folder. So now we have 3 files in there. So what we're going to do, we're going to go back to our directions. We followed this step 1 already. See, it says here you can use the 8 instead for lower memory usage, but the F16 one is recommended if you have more than 32 gigabytes of RAM. So I've got 24, and it works fine. It takes about a minute maybe to get everything done. Love it, man. If you had 32 and you get this stuff ripping like that, it'd be even better. But if you have less than 24, you probably want to go with the 8, and it's really not that much of a trade-off. Okay, so now it says we need the VAE, can be found here, and it needs to go into our models VA folder. So same thing. Let's go ahead. I'm going to close this. Let's go ahead, right click on that bad boy, click open link in new tab. Okay, now it says this file store with get LFS, too big to display, but you can still download it. Fine, let's download it. Now it's going to open up to where we were before, the clip model. We don't want that. So we're going to click here on models, and then we're going to go find our VAE. Okay, so let's click save. Okay, we're in the money. We are rolling with the homies here. So let's close this out. Okay, so we can worry about this later. Now we get down to the bad boy, we get to the actual model itself. Okay, and I'll explain these images, why they're important to us here later. But you can find the Flux Diffusion models here. So what we're going to do, same thing, right click, open the link. Now this is a large file. It's 24 gigabytes. So now what it does, it brings us up to this model card. We don't need to worry about it. We want to do is click on files. Then we're going to scroll down here, and you see where it says Flux 1 dev sft. So what we're going to do, we're going to actually go back to see where it wants us to put it. It wants it in the unet folder. Okay, so we're going to put it in the unet folder. So let's go ahead and click that. See, it's a large one, 23.8 gigs. So same thing, we're in the VAE, so let's click models. Then we will click unit, and we click save. Okay, so now we just got to wait for this stuff to download. These other ones have already downloaded. Okay, so this one will take a little bit of time. Let's go back, look at our instructions, and I believe that that's actually going to be the end of it. So what we're going to end up doing is going back and running it the way that we did. Remember, we typed Python main.py, and then we're going to drag this image into it, and I'll show you what that's do. That's actually going to change our workflow for us. Kind of one of the cool things with this, remember I was telling you how people can share their workflows. They can save them into the images that they create, so that if you just put it in there, it changes your screen. So we'll do that when this is done downloading. In the meanwhile, I'm going to show you this really quick. It has this simple to use FP8 checkpoint version. So this can actually work on machines that are not as powerful as the other ones. So I'll show you how to do this later. I guess we could probably just download this now. This one is just going to go into our checkpoints directory, and it's going to have a completely different workflow, which is why it has a different image. If you're going to want to use this one, you will grab this image and drop it in there. So let's go ahead and right click there, close that, and you're going to see that we're here at FP8. Same thing, we can just download it, and it said this one it wants in the checkpoints. So now you do not have to download this. Okay, the only reason I'm downloading that is just kind of to have a comprehensive look at everything, so that I can show you kind of everything. If you have a strong machine, don't worry about the FP8. Okay, if you've got a machine that you're not thinking you're going to be able to run the big ones, go for the FP8, and it still looks great. In fact, if you go back over here, oops, where are we at? You'll see that these images pretty much the same. So, you know, maybe a little bit more detail in this one. Pretty darn nice in this one. It's kind of hard to tell the difference, isn't it? So, okay, so we are almost done here. What I'm going to go ahead and do is, because we're still down, yeah, there it is. Because we're still downloading, I'm going to pause it until we're done, and then we'll be right back. Okay, so that has finished downloading. Let me get this glare out of your face here. Sun is coming up. Here, you see a nice picture of my armpit there for you. All right. So let's go ahead now and run this guy. So we're going to pop over to our terminal here, and we are in the ComfyUI directory. Okay, and if we type dir, you will get a list of stuff. And remember, we run it by clicking on this main.py. So we're going to type Python main.py, and that's going to load up the server. Okay, and remember, the server is like a factory. That's where all the work happens, and then the interface, the website we use, that's kind of like the truck where you're bringing goods in for the factory to work with, and then the factory sending them back out again. So it gets done, gives us this thing, so we can just double click on that. That will highlight it, and then press Control-C to copy it. Now we're in the money. So we're going to pop back over to our browser. I'm going to get this out of my way so we can see what I'm doing. We'll just open this up, and we're going to press Control-V, and it's going to load up this screen. Okay, so here we go. This is our ComfyUI. Now, if you notice, we downloaded that checkpoint, remember, for easier for machines that don't have to be quite as powerful. You're going to notice this is what's called our default one. Okay, we can always get back here by pressing Load Default, and you're going to notice that it actually already put in that one that we downloaded. So if you up here, you'll see it says Clip Text and Code. This is where you actually are writing what you want it to do. So it says beautiful scenery, naturey glass bottle landscape, purple galaxy bottle. This is actually where you'll write your prompts. Okay, if we went ahead and pressed Q prompt, what would happen is it would generate. But I'm not going to do it because I'm running other AI stuff with the video and it will crash my machine. It's too much for that, but that's how you work this. So if your other one is not working, just load up your default and it's already set up for you. But what we want to do is we want to get to the big one. So what we have to do is we have to go back to our directions up here. Okay, this is where this image is going to come in. We're going to click it and we're going to drag it over to here, and then we're just going to drop it. And now look at that, it changed up our whole screen. Let me switch over to here so we can see this a little bit better. Okay, and now it changed up our whole screen. Remember I said that you can save your workflows into an image. That's what they've done for us. And you'll notice that it's already preset. It's got our model in there, our clip here, that's our 16, and then here is our text that we can change. Now, remember we downloaded 2 of these clips, okay? We have 16, and if I click this little arrow, it'll go to the FP8. If you're having a hard time, if it's taking a long time, click that, okay? And it's going to click you to a little bit easier model. It might go a bit better for you. Don't ever change this one. This clip one needs to always be here. This is our model up here. If you put other models into ComfyUI, you can use the arrows to change them. We just have the one because that's what we're focusing on. Okay, and then you can change your width, your height, all this stuff. Remember, it's just kind of flowing through. Well, it's called Comfy Flow. It's just kind of flowing through one thing to another. Notice if we move this, it moves these arrows, and it'll put the picture out there. So I might pause it and show you how it works, but basically you can move all this stuff around, okay? And when you get it done, you just click Q prompt. Nice thing about this is you could actually press Q prompt while it's working, go change up your text in here, hit it again, and it will actually, you can stack them on top of each other. So very cool. This is it. You're actually going. You have it done. If you're finding out that even with the FP8 that it's too slow, watch this. Click your load default. It'll say load default workflow. Okay. And then just go back to this one. You still have your FP8 checkpoint. So you can do it here too. It's going to be nice. It's not going to be as nice, but it's still going to be very nice. Okay. And it will work better. Maybe you just want something done. You don't want to wait so much for the other because it, you just need something done fast. You use this version. Okay. The images that you've made, you can also use those to drag in here. Notice I drop it. All of a sudden, we're back into this bad boy. Okay. I wish I could show you, but I can't show you really with the camera. When you do press Q prompt, you're going to see this thing highlight, and it's going to move to the next thing. And the next thing is going to highlight. And you can actually see that it's moving because these boxes will highlight as it moves. It's going to get to this, the sample custom advanced. This is the hardest part, the most resource intensive part of the thing. This is actually where it's doing the work. So it might sit there for a while, then it's going to pop down to here, and then you're going to have your beautiful pictures that you have worked so hard on. I will show you one last thing here, and then we're going to go. A nice way to get good prompts, go to our best friend, chat.openai.com, and you can just ask it, say, give me a good detailed prompt for Comfy UI, and it can be whatever you want to think. A cowboy who is walking in the rain, holding his hat in his hand. He's just got bucked off a bull. I don't know, whatever. Okay, and then now watch. ChatGPT will go ahead and give us a nice prompt that then we can just go like this as soon as it's done. Blah, 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 blurbity, blur, blur. Okay, so we'll just grab this, highlight it, press Control-C, go back to our ComfyUI, and then all we have to do is go in here, paste it in, and then hit Q prompt. So I'm tempted to try it, but I don't want to tempt fate as well. So we're just going to leave it there for now. That is how you guys, we do the new Flux Dev model. And with that, you now have your ComfyUI installed, which means that now you can go freak out, learn all sorts of stuff with it. Again, I always use SD Forge. It's just been easy for me to do that, but ComfyUI is powerful. It's more powerful than the other. And if you can figure this out, that's the way to go. Certainly was the way to go with this project, wasn't it? So we've got that going. We got the models in. Your rip and roaring. I want to show you before we go though over here. Let's pop back to here. Oh, no, let's pop back to here. So that was a pretty good install. I want to show you this. We can also go here, and I have created a one-click installer. So all you do here is you just download this. All you do is click this install.bat. Okay, that's it. And it will actually do everything that we did, shortening the time, getting it all done, create your folder, and then you don't even have to go into here. You never have to touch the DOS or the terminal. You just click run.bat, and it will actually do the same thing that the other. If I close this out, it'll do the same thing that the other did. Okay, just loads up for us. So that's a nice one-click installer if you just want to get going. You could get, the longest part of this is the downloads. See, they're ready for us to pop up there as well. So the longest thing with this whole stuff is downloading. Let's see if I can get out of here, see where we're at here. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, I'm popping around here. There we go. So, listen, you can get going within just a few minutes with that. You get that, you go over to patreon.com/cognibuild, okay, and you'll scroll down. You'll actually see it down here, and I have both of the clicker for the FP8 and for the full. So you click those, just extract them. All you got to do is click install, and it's going to do all that for you. You're not going to have to go worry about downloading, getting them into the right folders, because I've done the work for you. I did it because I care. Okay, so you can get those. Plus, you know, when you do sign up over here, it's like $5. You can get all this different apps as well to play with. And so we're going to be having more stuff. Oh, this is Flux Schnell, by the way. This is like a turbo one. It goes a little bit faster, lesser quality. It's more for speed, and you can get that here as well. So there you have it. Flux Dev, you're a champ. Look at you. You did it. You didn't think you were going to be able to do it. You didn't think you was going to do it, but you did it. You held in there. You kept the reins. You got her done, and I'm proud of you. All right. We're going to catch you later. We will chat up. If you have questions, hit me up on Discord. Walk you through whatever you need to get walked through. And as always, you stay good, and we will catch you on the other side. Yo.